Simeon sings another song. Luke chapters 1 and 2 are full of songs. If you've ever wondered why Christmas has so much singing, so many songs, so many choirs and caroling, like if you actually read Luke chapter 1 and 2, the main characters are singing songs. Simeon is the old man filled with the Spirit. The Lord showed him that he was not going to die until he got to see the Lord's Christ, the one chosen by the Lord to be the rescuer. And so Simeon comes into the temple full of the Holy Spirit, and at the same day that Mary and Joseph bring Jesus, baby Jesus, into the temple to offer a sacrifice and offer him, his life to the Lord, and name him Jesus, just like the angel said. And Simeon is full of the Holy Spirit. Simeon sees him. Simeon picks him up in his arms, and this is what Simeon says. He says, "Lord, now you are letting your servant depart in peace." What does he mean? He means, I can die. I can die now because you kept the promise. It's in my way. You kept the promise you said you were going to do. You were going to show me the Lord's Christ, and this is the one. I don't know if he was surprised. I don't know if he saw it coming. I don't know. It doesn't tell us much more about Simeon. We know a little bit. He says, "Lord, now you are letting your servant depart in peace according to your word. I can die happy because I've seen the one that you sent." And this is a spectacular statement of faith. I don't know about you, but I like to see it all the way through. I don't. This is a baby. How's a baby going to settle everything? And Simeon's like, I trust you, Lord. I've seen him. I've met him. You kept your word to me, and you're going to keep keeping your word. This is a good reminder to have that type of confidence in the Lord, and not to be a micromanager, a person who demands that you see every detail of it fulfilled, or you just won't believe it. Okay? Lord, now you're letting your servant depart in peace according to your word. For my eyes have seen your salvation that you've prepared in the presence of all peoples. So this is faith. Seeing something out in the distance that has not yet come to pass, but seeing the evidence that the Lord keeps his promises, seeing the evidence and then believing God for that which you can't see. This is evidence-based faith. The baby's in his arms. This isn't just a pipe dream, but then again, it's just a baby. So it's faith. And this is the type of faith I want you to have. I want you to read the scriptures, and I want you to investigate the evidence, and based on that evidence, to believe God. Your choice. It's your choice, okay? You have prepared in the presence of all peoples. Why did I underline that? Because this is unique. In that day and time, there was this idea that the rescuer would save God's chosen people, like the Israelites, the descendants from Abraham. But Simeon seems to have a window of understanding that this is a salvation that is aimed at all peoples. The word peoples, you might say like ethnicities or tribes or nations, not like where the borders are and there's guns and guards and things like that. No, but like groups of people that have different nationalities, right? A light for revelation to the Gentiles. So let's just unpack these, right? The word light, that's a metaphor. What is light for? It's for showing you the truth. It's for showing you where you were in the darkness. This is also like lifting you out of despair. This is not the first time that word light has been used to describe the work that God is doing. Zechariah also described, this coming of the Lord's presence like the sunrise dwelling with his people, and the light lifting people out of despair and anxiety. Okay, you've read it or you haven't. I don't know. I've been reading it day after day after day. Okay, a light for revelation to the Gentiles. So revelation means helping you see. Who is being helped to see? The Gentiles. Gentiles are non-Jews. This is great news for you if you're not a Jew, and for me if I'm not a Jew. I'm not a Jew. This is great news. Simeon was devout. He was righteous. He was in the temple. He was in the thick of it. He was in the clique. And yet he says this. And this is the Holy Spirit speaking through him. So I think you can say, man, this is the Lord. This is a voice, a message from the Lord that this child is going to reveal salvation for all people, for Gentiles, and for glory to your people Israel. So you have two things. This is going to bring glory to Israel. Like everyone's going to know Jesus came from this people group, the Israelites. Everyone knows that. And to this day, 2,000 years later, we know that's where Jesus came from. Glory will come to the Israelites, and revelation. What is being revealed? What is being opened up? I mean, in some sense, I think he's saying our eyes are being opened up, and in another way, he's saying like heaven is being opened up. We are getting to see God for ourselves through this child. So, what should you do? I thought about Simeon and his faithfulness. I don't know how old he was, but you get the impression he's at the end of his life, right? He says, now I can depart. What does it say? Lord, now you're letting your servant depart in peace. What do you say when you're waiting to die? You know, just a few days ago, Catherine's granddad died. He's a beautiful, loving, compassionate man. And we had a pretty good warning the day before he died that his body was failing. And I sat around all day just, praying for him. We weren't able to be with him, but he wasn't alone. He was with the Lord, even as his body was failing. And I just thought about that question. What do you say when you're waiting to die? What hope are you holding on to? What promises has the Lord made to you that are more precious to you than I know we all have things that we hope happen. Like I hope it snows this winter and we get to play in it with our kids. I hope that my little baby daughter is born healthy and we're able to hold her, and that Catherine is able to recover quickly. These are things I'm hoping for that are deep and personal to me. There's some things that I'm hoping for that are silly. Like I hope to write beautiful songs, or I hope sometimes to play a nice guitar, or sometimes I just hope, that I don't burn the eggs that I'm scrambling in the morning. Like some of those hopes. But this was a deep, deep hope that was planted in the promise God had made him. His hope was in the Lord, clearly. And I guess I just ask you, what is your hope planted in? Is it in Jesus? Is it in this light? Like, is God illuminating who he is, and he's opening up to you, revealing what salvation looks like? Is he doing that through Jesus? Is that what your hope is kind of anchored in? I like to meditate. I like to think about these songs and try to put them to music. This obviously isn't the music that it was put to, but I'm going to sing a little bit of Simeon's song. Lord, now you are letting your servant depart in peace. Lord, now you are letting your servant depart in peace, according to your word. For my eyes have seen your salvation, that you prepared in the presence of all peoples, a light for revelation to the Gentiles, and for glory to your people Israel, according to your word. According to your word. Like, this is the anchor. The Lord speaks, and it's done. It's as good as done, even though its doing may be a long process. The day that we found out that we were pregnant, that Catherine was pregnant, that we were expecting our 5th child, I immediately began thinking about birth and raising an infant and a toddler and a young child and then into teenage years. It's done. God sees the whole thing. God sees the whole life. But of course, it takes a lifetime to unfold. And the promises God has given to you through Jesus, the way He wants to save you, the way He wants to impact you, to bless you, to show Himself to you, and then to show Himself through you to others, that is done. You can be confident in it, but you also, like Simeon, need to tune into the Holy Spirit and show up at the temple when He leads you so that you don't miss it. Simeon has one more thing to say, and I'm going to read that passage. Again, I'm not teaching these passages. I'm going to read it and look at it and kind of wrap up this series on Christmas Eve. And then I'm going to celebrate with my family. And probably the next time I post something or make an announcement, we'll have a little baby girl. And so one more reading together as we try to look for ourselves at Jesus. Because I believe He's a light for revelation to Gentiles like me.